0 hour strikes, the clock ticks down. Rise from the ashes, wear your crown. No fear, no chains. Break the mold, forge your destiny. Fierce and bold.
Woot woot, everybody. Good to see y'all. Welcome to the 0 hour. We have a fantastic guest tonight. We are so proud to introduce Mad Shad from the coast of Erie.
Greetings from the Erie coast.
That's my boy right there. And then we got the Ohio Valley Prepping.
Good evening, everybody.
There you go. And then down in that corner, we got Rural 2IC.
What's going on, everybody?
And I'm Mark, and I'm half-ass ready. So welcome to the show, everybody. So don't see a question. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Well, Nick put in a question. Let's see what Nick's question is. How much mad can a mad shad if a mad shad can get mad? You do not want to know the true answer to that question.
There is a madness to my method. That is the answer.
Yep. Yeah. So, but hello to everyone in the chat. I see Kane and Tiger and Anthony Crouch. Good to see you, brother. Kane Corso, Dan H, Teresa. Thank you for being here. Yep. We got that going on. Let's see. Prepared for and G23 and Granny. Good to see you, sweetheart. Ghost Lincoln. Good to see you, brother. Dan H. I'm sure I've missed 20, but there you go. That's who all's here. So,
Anthony, Teresa, Tiger, yep, Orlando
Prepping. Good to see you. So, as y'all know, yeah, I see Texas Raider in the house. So, but Anthony Crouch, I'm glad you showed up, brother. I spoke to him the other night in another live, and I'm glad he showed up. So, but y'all are in control of what we talk about tonight. So if y'all think of something you really want us to talk about, you need to put it in the chat. If not, me and Mad Shad are going to tell Marine stories for about an hour.
All right. There was this girl that we knew. Her name was Maggie Drawers. Anyway. Maggie's Drawers. The story of Maggie's Drawers.
Oh Lord. Yeah, y'all don't
stories, so
yeah. We would like to keep this somewhat PG, maybe a little in the R range. But yeah, we start telling Marine stories, this is going to get really bad, really fast.
Yes, sir.
But since we've been together last, it has been quite, yeah, and Tiger, I knew that was coming. Yeah, we all watched Charlie Kirk's memorial today. Some of us more than others, but thought it was moving myself. Enjoyed some of what I heard. It was fascinating to me to listen to his friends from when he was young. I enjoyed listening to them more so than I did the politicians. But what was your take on it, Chad? Did you watch any of it? Yes.
A little bit, just very solemn celebration of life. The guy was an absolutely amazing man.
Yeah.
Righteous to the end. You know what I'm saying? He was that guy. He was that guy. He did not smoke. He did not drink. He did not fornicate. He did not listen to crazy music. He did not entertain crazy notions. He dedicated his life to literally changing the world, and he did it by helping the kids, because the kids are the target of this evil parasitical manifestation. And so he knew this, and he went for the kids, and he said, look, here's God, here's righteousness, here's conservatism, here's capitalism, here's the Constitution. Let me show you how things really work in the world.
Right.
And that's what he did. That's what he did. And amazing man. Absolutely amazing man. Skull.
I agree. Yeah, Skull. But how about you, OVP? How did it touch you?
I didn't watch it all. I watched like the last four speakers because I was doing something. But yeah, I watched Trump Jr. and Trump and Vance, and then Charlie's wife, of course. And she did a great speech. I agree with what they said about her forgiving the shooter was probably the high point of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he was somebody that the world's going to miss, I think. Well, not all the world, but
I agree. No, I agree.
Most of us.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. So, Rural, what touched you? I mean,
Will, I've been thinking a while, and everybody keeps comparing him to various things, and tonight they compared him to Moses and whatnot. He was more of, going into the lion's den, right? The college campuses are a lost cause. He went in anyway.
yeah.
And that's kind of the whole point to most of life. Everybody screams, stay away from the kids. Well, if we don't go in and do something with the kids, you're just letting anybody else go in there anyway. So we might as well step in.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I posted Granny's comment because I don't think they were talking about that kind of seeds, Granny. They were talking about freedom seeds, which is what you put in your freedom dispenser when you need to defend your constitutional rights. So, but that is also good information to know, Granny. You are awesome. But I really liked what Rubio had to say at the end of his speech. It was very much. And look, no offense to you Northern folks, okay, but nobody does a revival like we do down here in the South. And I think Rubio might have been to one in his life. His to me, it was very much like an old school Southern revival. And I enjoyed that. It brought me back to my childhood. We used to have a camp meeting at my mother's church, my grandfather's church, and every summer. And folks would come from all over South Carolina, North Georgia, East Tennessee, and they would stay there for a week or 2 weeks, or depending on how the Spirit moved them, right? And these folks these preachers from all over the world. Well, we didn't throw chairs. Our JS Genesis. I grew up in a Pentecostal church, so the little 80-year-old woman would stand on the very back of the chair and then scream and then cut a backflip off of it and land in the sawdust. It was awesome. So, but yeah, that's where I went with it. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah. It's nice to see the leaders of the free world talking about their faith in God. I just enjoyed it. But Dan H asked
somebody mentioned.
Yeah, go ahead, Chip.
Somebody had mentioned that he was trying to change the world, and it seems like we've seen this throughout history. Every time somebody tries to change the world, they end up in a pine box. I mean, you can go back JFK, Martin Luther King, so on. I mean, and the list just goes on and on and on. But yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people comparing him to those people, and yeah, it's true. So.
No, I agree.
That's what Orlando said there in the chat. He wasn't taken out because he spoke. He was taken out because people were actually listening.
Yeah,
and exactly.
And it's amazing that it took another 19-year-old kid to realize what 19-year-old kids were wanting to hear, needed to hear. But I think they wanted to hear it. And even Trump told him, "Look, man, you're crazy. Why?" Even Don Jr. said, "Why would he go in there? Why are we going in there? Let's don't go there. Let's do something else." And he said, "No, man, we've got to go talk to the kids." And it worked. So, but and I know, and here's my question to you, Shad, because again, I've been listening to you talk about this for a few days. So, what was Charlie Kirk that inspirational, or do you think these kids really wanted a structured something in their life besides the socialist bullshit they were hearing their whole school career? I mean, where do you land on that?
Yeah, absolutely. He was definitely a major threat to their plans, the socialist plan to go after the kids, and that was Charlie. That was his game. He fearlessly went into the lion's den and showed these kids, look, I'm not afraid to talk to you, and I'm not afraid to spit facts, and yeah, he was a major threat to their plans. Okay, to start doing videos and lives. I'll answer that in a minute, Nick. But yeah, he had to. He did the things, man. He dedicated his life to it, and really, I mean, if you think about the numbers, I mean, look at Turning Point. Turning Point is a major organization that is mostly made up of young kids, and I say kids loosely because they're young adults, right? In these colleges that spread all across the United States and the world, right? He influenced the world, right? And that's the thing, is that we got the bad influence, that socialist influence, that monster, right? You know, the evilness that infects, right? And tries to subvert, the kids, which they do a really good job of, right? And then you had Charlie Kirk creating this massive organization ran by kids, mostly ran by young college students and himself and his wife. And of course it's a, big ordeal, pushing back and winning with numbers and pulling kids to their side. Because of Charlie Kirk, we have a large conservative future. These kids are going to grow up with these morals and these ethics and these amazing attributes that he tried to, that he did foster. So I think it's I don't know what the question was. What was, did he? That's why he that's the whole. That's what they always do. They always silence the opposition. Always.
Right.
And that does many things. That tells everybody else, hey, shut your mouth. Right, because this could happen to you, but in this case, it took it like his wife said, you don't know what you just unleashed, and we've seen it all over the world. Shout outs to all over the world. There was a 1 million+ man march in England, in Britain, and they were chanting Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk. They had a 2-minute, 1 minute silence. Now, to get 1 million people to shut up and have a moment of silence for one man, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, we can't get Congress to do that.
No.
Right. Yeah, no. They absolutely martyred him and created something far
I agree with that
for themselves.
I agree with that. So, Rural, did Charlie bring something to those kids that they needed in their life? I mean, is that why so many young college-age kids jumped on his bandwagon?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of my question.
Yes. Yeah, I think so, because I think that you have two people. You have leaders and you have followers. And there's so many people out there that share that view, but they're not leaders. They're not people. They don't have that way to stand out in front of somebody and voice it. They needed somebody like him to rally around, so that way he was the talking point, and they can go and ask somebody questions. Hey, you know what? I believe in you. I know what you're saying, but I have a question. And he gave them that point that they can go in and ask questions and learn and network and get together with other people that agreed with them. And after he left, that message stayed and continued.
Knife hands for you, Devil Dog Prepper. Good to see you, baby. OVP, am I way off base here, or is that what's happening? I mean, is that what happened?
And I agree with Rural that they didn't silence him because of what he was saying. They silenced him because people were listening.
Yeah,
and those kids were listening, and a lot of them were starting to come around and see through the veil, I guess, so to say. and
Mhm.
and that kid that they got in jail didn't. There's no way that kid did that. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I mean, he was making he was making an impact, and
Yeah.
and they couldn't have that. So
Yeah. Well, and I agree with that. I like, I like what all y'all had to say about it. I agree. I just know, I remember, and Shad will back me up on this. I remember when I was 18 and I was in college, and uh, it, the wind could blow and I would lean that direction, right? Because I was 18 and my head was full of shit. So, the Marine Corps made a lot of my opinions for me. Okay. But as I grew older and I started falling back on the religious and conservative upbringing that I had, I realized the Marines sharpened the sword, but my grandma and my mom made the sword, right?
Yeah.
The Marine Corps knocked the rust off of it, but they gave me my direction in life. And I just wonder how many kids go to college without any kind of moral compass, and I think Charlie supplied that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or at least was trying to. Yeah, he was getting through to enough people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of kids that, because what's really big in school is peer pressure.
Sure.
Right? Peer pressure. You got to be on board with this. You got to be on board with that, and everybody's ostracizing you. Everybody's making fun of you. Because you're going to cut your hair and wear tuck your shirt in and wear belts in a pair of slacks to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do you mean you go to church? Oh, good Lord, what's wrong with you, right? Well, these kids are like, well, that's just what I've always done, and so I'm going to continue to do this. They didn't want to be a part of all that, yet they kept being pulled in, right? They keep getting pulled in, drawn in, or they're pushed out, and so this gave them a group, something to be part of, right? Mm-hmm. Kids want to be a part of something. They either want to be rebellious, right? You want to be a part of a revolution, or you want to be part of some kind of movement that's bigger than yourself. Like that's why military is looks so good to a lot of young kids. But this was something else. This was, hey, let's just be normal Americans, right? Mm-hmm. And be good people. And have some sense, and a lot of these kids jumped onto that,
Yep. Yeah, no, I like what you're saying, Texas Raider. Those kids are the future, and so all right. There's another question. Let's ponder this one. Okay, so is this going to push us more to speak to the kids? And I say kids, but I'm talking any young adult, right? Is this gonna galvanize us to preach more, to stand on our soapbox more? Should it? Should it not? Where do you go with that, Shad?
I personally, in my life, do not engage with a lot of young people. But I have in the past, and that's what I've done, really. Just always trying to. Not so much teach, but to show them that their mind can work a different way than what they think, right? Chess. And, I love playing chess. But I think we should. We absolutely should. And any chance I get to talk to young kids, young adults, I for the most part I want to feel them out first. But yeah, if you have kids, if you have kids that have friends, right? That's the thing too. That you have the ability to kind of talk to the friends, and go, hey, what do y'all want to do today? What do you think about this? And just ask them questions about what's going on in school, because what they do in school they want to keep a secret, right? And so. Asking kids what's going on in their school, and then saying, hey, wait a minute, that's not right. Let them know. I mean, because once again, peer pressure. right?
Mhm.
Kids want to do the right thing or they want to do the wrong thing. They want to know what the right thing is, regardless if they're going to do it or not. They want to know what the right thing is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, and this is a good question for you, Roar, because you have children at home,
Mhm.
right? You know, I mean, is this inspiring you to? Well, I mean, you're the kind of guy that gets up every day and says, "I want to be a better father." But I mean, is this inspiring you?
I mean, this has always been something for me to take an interest in our youth. I've been trying to push that lately on the channel, even well before this. I had a 19-year-old girl come on, and we did a whole hour podcast where
Yep.
we got to talk to the youth,
Yep.
right? Uh,
Yeah.
it's something for all of us old guys to sit here and chastise the young, but let's go
Right.
ahead and bring one of them in and let's ask them those questions. Most kids nowadays are being raised by social media. And so if
Yep.
we can give them an outlet to where their voices are heard and they're not asking AI, is it wrong to sleep with this person? Well, how about we go to our parents, and ask those questions instead of asking AI? There's so much of
Yeah.
what's going on in the world where they need an outlet. They need somewhere
Right.
for their voice to be heard.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Chip?
Yeah, I'm with Shad. I don't really get a chance to interact with a bunch of young people, but I do think it's going to start a movement where a lot of people are going to start talking to young people. You know, that I've seen. I've seen a video today of I think the kid was like 13. So he's about my grandson's age, and he was in a suit, and he was starting his own little kind of movement. I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember the kid's name. I wish I did, but I don't remember. And saying I'm Charlie Kirk, and he was starting a movement that I think it was called "We're Charlie Kirk," and I mean the kid was sharp.
Wow.
And I was impressed. I was like, wow, this kid's gonna make something out of himself. But yeah, I think it is gonna inspire a lot of people to go out and talk to the kids and kind of do what Charlie was doing.
Right. Well, I do. I mean, I hire young people at work a lot, and I was a scoutmaster for 12 years. I've coached little league football, little league baseball, so I spent my time with young people, and it's really cool now that they're all grown persons now, and I get to see them, and they thank me or they recognize me, and they say things to me that were. It's very touching and rewarding because at the time it was a job. I felt like it was such a job, and again, and Shad, you can testify to this. Sometimes a Marine isn't the guy you want to look up to all the time, right? He's not the guy you want necessarily teaching your children anything. Chewing tobacco and cussing and all that shit. And
Well, I mean, you say that, but there's a lot of other things that come with that as well. Honor, courage, commitment, integrity, right?
Yeah.
It's a sense of intestinal fortitude. Things of that nature. Things that honor. I mean, and looking good. I was going to comment on that. If you haven't noticed the aesthetics of the generation nowadays, it looks like they're homeless.
Yeah.
It looks like they're homeless. They're walking around frumpy as hell, just nasty. I mean, I'm like, what the hell? You guys are homeless or something? So a lot of kids don't want to look like that. So they're looking sharp. They're putting on slacks. I was talking about a collared shirt, button up, maybe a tie. They want to look good. They get the haircut. I mean, I know this. I'm talking like, I got long hair and a beard.
Yeah, I know.
But I've been there. I've been one of those kids, right? You'd be a sharp dressed man, kind of just Mr. Bob, the Mr. Bob movement, right?
Right,
a lot of kids want to look good. And that, I think that's going to be the new style, because this frumpiness, this homeless, I live in my mom's basement look is just not working. It's just not working.
Yeah. And I actually like that we're talking about that because, it's, my dad always used to tell me we were farmers, and we worked in the dirt all the time. But it was funny when we would go. My dad also had a storefront, and so you had to leave the field and put your work clothes away and get your other work clothes on, which meant tucking your shirt in, putting on a pair of jeans with no hole in them, and clean shoes, But, my dad always used to say, when you're dressed like you know what you're talking about, people want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so, I mean, you go to an airport and watch, used to in the old days, you watch the movies, people wearing suit and tie to get on a plane. Now they look like they're going to bed,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you feel the same way, OVP. If you don't, it's fine. But I mean,
I think you're absolutely right. And same thing with what Chad was saying. I don't know, maybe it's a generational thing, but we didn't start looking like raggedy old men until we got to be old men.
Right.
I mean, when we were young, we always tried to look our best, or at least acceptable, so that and most of that was chasing girls, so you wanted to look good.
Right.
I mean, it's true. It sounds ridiculous, but it's true. So, and now the kids look like, I mean, they're running around in their pajamas, and it's just different. I guess I should say, just different.
Yeah. You make your kids take off their pajamas before you go to Walmart? You're all?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's one of those, you don't have to dress like you're going to a wedding to go pick up a loaf of bread, but you're going to be presentable to go out. And it's kind of that whole thing of you want and have that expectation when you go somewhere, right? I'm coming to you for a product or a service, and it doesn't even have to be professional. If you're going in to get your tattoo and the guy standing behind the counter has no piercing, no tattoo, no nothing, you almost second guess, like, maybe I don't want this guy,
Right. Yeah, I dig it. So I know we at work, we used to require a uniform, and even when we were in the Corps, Shad, you had a uniform that was not the uniform, right? We had a uniform when we weren't in uniform, but we used to wear pants and a shirt tucked in and a black belt, and so then I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, they decided we just needed this shirt, right? If you got the shirt on, you're in uniform. Well, holy moly, man! I have some of my kids come to work wearing Crocs and rainbow colored breeches, and they got the shirt on though. They got the shirt on, so they're in uniform, and it just don't look professional. But again, I do sound like an old man when I talk like that, though.
Yeah.
But
there's something to it.
Old men.
We are.
So,
we are.
And I admit, go ahead.
Rule's the pup out of the bunch, but he's still not a spring chicken, So I mean, he's catching up,
Well, and here that leads me to another question for you, Shad. We for the last, I don't know, 10 years, every time something came out of my mouth, it was always about this younger generation, right?
I can nod, hey.
The millennials, these millennials suck, and all that. Well, so is it just me, or have y'all noticed that people our age are getting sucked right into the same damn behavior? Is that just me, Shad, or are you noticing that too?
No, I've known it. I've seen it, and like you said, in the past 10 years, I've seen it. It was a different time for me, and I was with a lot of mixture of people, and I seen 65-year-old men that were bodybuilders that had D-cup boobs, just because they wanted to live that lifestyle. I'm like, what? Okay, but so, but yeah, there is. It's it's a parasite. It's a seed that gets planted, and if the mind, how do I say this couthly? Usually people with trauma-based childhoods or trauma-based things in their lives, that unresolved childhood issues that involved trauma, sexual trauma, perhaps, they have that, they're susceptible. That's why this side, that this parasitical socialist insurrectionist is going after the children to humiliate them, demoralize them, and us as well. It's a double-edged sword, right? So they get traumatized. The kids get led in or opened to other experiences that they would rather not do, right? Nor would their parents approve of such, right? With an adult, and boom, now they are traumatized, and now they're going to be open for it for the rest of their lives, right? So the older generation will always, there's always going to be there's always going to be some 60-year-old man with nail polish and a dress walking down your street, always,
right?
Shuffling around, and he's all pretty. He feels pretty, right? So, you know what? That's okay. I mean, he's 65 years old. He can do that, but I mean, it's up to the community to say, hey, let's get out of here, man. We got kids around here. Go ahead and get up out of here. I don't care if you think you're protected. I don't think whatever. It's what's called relativism. And relativism is the belief that you can be whatever you want to be. Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds good, right? Wow, right. I can be whatever I want to be, but kind of like the apple, right? Kind of like knowing good versus evil, kind of Adam and Eve thing, if you will. You bite into that apple, there's always going to be some evil entity to lead you down the path of down that road that you're never come back from. And so I say that because I know from experience. Right. I know this, and it's hard to get out of that insidious darkness. What's the saying that if you look into the abyss, the abyss looks back? Yeah, and it becomes a part of you. It's hard to get away from that. It really is. And so the older generations have that as well in them.
OVP, do you need help?
I didn't do it. Whatever it was, I didn't do it.
Do you need help, sir?
Plausible deniability. It wasn't me.
I hear you.
Just put your pants on before they handcuff you, please.
Yeah.
It could be because I'm sitting on. It could be because I'm sitting on the back porch with nothing on but my glasses. I mean, I don't know. If that's anything to do with
well, there you go. There could be the problem. So
I just thought he sat on his life alert button.
Yep.
No, I'm in a direct path between the highway and the police/fire station, and they go down through here like 6 times a day. Because all the businesses are down by the highway, and everybody's on their phone, ain't paying attention, and there's a crash down there about every 2 hours. So I'm used to that noise. Like I didn't,
Yeah.
So I like that. It derailed me. It totally derailed me. Should I answer JS Genesis?
Yes, I would love for you to go ahead and answer his question.
Okay. Well, I wasn't aware that happened. Okay, so 10 nations recognize Palestine. This is NATO, and NATO is the enemy. NATO is the evil. NATO is the arm. We used to be the arm. We still are the strong arm of the New World Order, the Old World Order, the Fourth Reich, the Klaus, whatever you want to call them, World Health Federation. NATO is going to do something. That's what they're going to do. What's up, Nomad? Yeah. So they're going to do what they can to promote the conflict and crisis. They need a crisis. That's the thing about the subvert. What I'm all about, and what I'm all about teaching, and what I've been yelling and screaming for 5 fucking years. Please excuse my French. Is that this is subversion 101.
Mm-hmm.
Subversion 101, and we're watching it play out in real time. Going, what is going on? Well, this is what's going on. Right. Mm-hmm. This is subversion 101. Yuri Brezhnev, all that. It's regardless of who's doing it. It's actually a lot of people doing this. It's actually maybe 200, 300 people that are involved in this. That are super rich. You'll never know. But it's subversion 101, right? Demoralization, humiliation part, right? The destabilization, right? The crisis, and then the victory, the normalization, and then victory, right? For them, not us. It's that's when they want us to destroy ourselves, and they divide and conquer, and by any means necessary they will do it, and they will do it as long as it takes to mitigate their damage and their unmasking. See, the only bad thing for them, their tactic of showing their hand is that they've showed their hand.
Right.
Right. They've said, hey, I'm over here. They've basically, imagine you're in a big field and somebody shoots at you. Right. Well, now you know where they are.
Yep.
They're over there. So that's what they're trying to do, is trying to get us to destroy ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's why I preach composure. My Sunday reflections about composure, about this whole Civil War thing. Eventually, this is going to die out, right? The only other option they have, the woke side, the left side, whatever you want to call them, is to up the ante, to up the crisis, to make it more crisis. So that's their only card they have, because we are now seeing exactly what they're doing, and our children, the youth, are seeing this. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, man. I mean, wow, he did that. He opened the eyes and said, hey, this is what's going on here. If y'all don't see what's going on, then you're being used. You don't want to. Do you want to be a useful idiot, or do you want to be a free American? Right? I mean, that's your choices. And so to be a free American, and more people are seeing this, and the rest of the world is starting to see this too, and they're getting pushback. So the only other option they have is something very, very destabilizing. Economic crisis. Some type of terrible tango attacks going on, something to our infrastructure, something of that nature. They would, I know y'all talk about aliens. They would love for an alien invasion to come down and absolutely destabilize everything, right? They would love that. They would love that. And that's, Atlas.
It's going to start now. It's going to get deep. We're getting ready to go down a rabbit hole.
I love rabbit holes, man. I love rabbit holes. Whatever they can do, and if it's the aliens, yeah, they'll play it up, man. Next thing you know, there's gonna be, aliens running around. But you gotta be careful around here, because most people got guns, and if I see a 7-foot tall lizard running through my neighborhood, I'm probably gonna shoot it.
Yes.
It's lizard season, isn't it?
Multiple times, and then we're gonna have a barbecue.
Yeah.
So
it tastes like chicken.
No, show and tell. Don't get me started on aliens.
I mean, I this joke started. I think it was between me and Ghost, Ghost, is that if the aliens taste like bacon, man, they should never come to this earth. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
No.
Or even chicken, for that matter. I mean, I like
right chicken.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be next. Project Bluebeam.
Well, but
aliens don't believe it.
Well, I noticed, this Atlas 31 thing keeps mutating. I don't know how it does that, but it keeps mutating.
You know what? You need to look at the peer reviews, right? You need to look at the peer reviews. All right, let's talk about Atlas. I3 Atlas. I3 Atlas is approaching our sphere of awareness. It's not going to be anywhere near us. It's traveling really fast. It's a comet. Everyone in the world with a telescope or an observatory is watching this thing, and it is amazing. Y'all don't know the significance of this. Besides the point that it's not an alien craft. Okay, it's a big rock coming from outside our solar system. Right. That's exactly what this is. All right. It is absolutely exciting. If you're an astrologer,
yes.
You're a scientist, if you're a geologist, it is absolutely exciting times.
If you're just a NASA geek, it's awesome.
Yes.
And I am. I grew up a NASA geek.
Yeah.
I'm a huge NASA geek. But my God, man, some of the spaceship shit. I had a dude. I tell you what. I had a guy the other day, a person I respect a lot, who said, "Look, we have to preach the alien thing because do you think, man? We have to teach the alien thing because when the rapture happens and we all get sucked away in the rapture, they have to have something to explain it to the other folks on what happened to us, right? The non-believers, so they don't panic and start rampaging, right?" And I thought, that's about stupid. And then I got to thinking about it. I was like, man, that's as good as any theory I've ever heard, right? And because, honestly, the Bible does say when we get sucked away that really nobody's going to know. They didn't hear it, right? If you aren't saved, you didn't hear it, and you're gone. Even your clothes are still there, right? Ain't that what it says? I may be preaching when I don't need to be preaching, but, but yeah, we are Gnostic Nomad. He's we're silly. We are. And nothing wrong with a little silly, man. I mean,
Right. Gotta love it.
Look, this prepping shit is a pretty serious subject.
All right, Gnostic Nomad. This coming from a guy that believes the world is flat. So Gnostic Nomad, got you, babe. Got you.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway,
but again, man, this prepping stuff. And we've talked about this on the show before. If you let it, it will absolutely weigh you down, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because we just steady think of what the next friggin' disaster is going to be, right? So, hell, be silly, man. It's just a great night to be silly on Sunday night. I mean, we're going to hit on something that's going to help somebody, right? Mm-hmm. And I realize talking about Charlie Kirk isn't necessarily talking about prepping, but it's on these people's mind, right? And they want to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it. But man, if y'all want to talk about something silly, let's talk about something silly. Put it in the chat. We'll talk about it. Believe me.
The Charlie Kirk thing is kind of related to prepping because it has caused some, maybe not, widespread civil unrest, but at least, a little bit here and there. And that's something
I would love to debate you, Nomad. I would love to test that theory, Nomad.
If you guys do that, somebody text me and let me know. I got to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
go back to Nick's question on what was the inspiration? Because all four of us are on here. What inspired you to do start your channel?
Yeah, that's way back.
Oh yeah,
But that was the question. It was. So we'll start with Shad. He's the guest. What inspired you to start creating content? I think was the question, right?
Well, I've always been that guy. I've always been a storyteller. I've always been a damage. helicopter. Anyway, I've always been that guy. And I had a friend / boss was like, "Wow, you need to just get on YouTube." I was like, "What's YouTube?" He's like, "Oh yeah, because I kind of preach a little bit too. If you haven't watched my content, it's like, hey, let's do this, do that. Damn it, Dan H. But start making videos and doing lives, and it's a creative outlet. I have to be creative. I'm one of those people. I have to be creative. If I can't be creative, I become very manic, very depressed.
Yes.
So I'm a creative. So I use a lot of my content as a creative outlet. I love the process that I go through. Most of the time, and of course my lives. If you haven't seen my lives, I like to listen to people. I like to judge people and their reactions in certain situations, in certain conversations, right? I can literally talk to anybody. I can. It's just the way it is for me. I'm a number 3. I'm a great communicator. I should have been a radio talk show host or an actor, or I used to be a karaoke god back in the day. Right. So I could have been in a band. I could have done all that stuff. I can write, I can draw, I can sculpt, I can carve, I can do all kinds of very creative things. But and it started out as an outlet. It evolved into an outlet for me. So that's why. And of course, I found a great community, and I've always been a kind of prepared person, right? Growing up poor in the hood, you got to make ends meet, right? So my mom, she grew up on a farm, right? And so that kind of prepping kind of mentality is ingrained in me. And of course, going into the Marine Corps, I got into the other kind of prepping. Yeah, Dan H. And so yeah, so I it just evolved, and then I met a great community here, multiple communities here on YouTube that I've actually met. I've met you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
it's I've
Yeah.
I shook your hand. I smelled your body, your
Yep.
body odor, and
Yep.
I drank coffee. I smoked
There
cigars
you
with
go.
you.
There you
So
go.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's great. It's so I will continue to do this, and just keep continuing to make friends, or make enemies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all the
Either
same
or.
to me, right?
That's
It's
only
it's all the
because I
same
had.
for me.
That's only because I
What?
hadn't
Go
taken
ahead.
a shower in 3 days.
Well, no, none of it. Well, actually, what was it? The third day it rained on us, and we all got a
Yeah,
shower.
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, it evolved into something totally beyond my power. I mean, I get to create things, like
Mhm.
Bonesy over here. Hey, how you doing? That's what's up. Deploy knife hands, trial by axe, Sunday reflections, Greek steel flows, and of course I get to just talk,
Right.
talk shit, and yeah, shut me up because I will keep going. I'm that
Yeah.
guy that you'll call at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And go, hey, I got a question for you. And 4 o'clock p.m. rolls around, and you're like, man, I gotta go. That's
Well,
me. That's me.
what about you, OVP? Where did your inspiration come from?
That explains the 9-hour live streams, Chad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
Um,
that's right.
well, I thought about doing it for a while, and I was already, I won't say part of this community, but involved in this community through all the live streams and that. And really, Mike from Hudson Valley and Vision kind of talked me into it. Not so much like on a one-to-one basis, but they said, hey, if you got something to say and you think you can help just one person, then do it. And so that kind of stuck with me for a while. And finally, one day I just decided, well, all right, let's do it. So they were kind of the inspiration, the two of them, at least the biggest part. And of course, my wife kind of said, yeah, you should do it. So that I don't really, we're a team, so we don't do much without checking with the other one. So yeah, that's kind of what inspired me to do it. And now I kind of took my face off the social media sites just for security reasons, because even in these small towns, things have been crazy in my little town over the last week. We had a murder. They found a body behind the grocery store, which wasn't involved with the murder. There was some guy robbing people in the parking lot of the grocery store in broad daylight on Thursday afternoon, and then somebody went around busting windows in cars and businesses last night. And it's not even safe and easy. This is a little town where years ago nobody ever locked their door. The only time you locked your door, if maybe you were going on vacation for a week or something. But other than that, you didn't lock your door. Somebody stopped over, they knocked on a door, nobody answered. They'd open the door up, stick their head in, and yell, "Hey, anybody home?" And if nobody answered, everybody kept a little notepad by the door, and they just leave a note. "Hey, I stopped by to whatever, say hi, have a cup of coffee, whatever." And now it ain't even safe here. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, how about you, Rural? What? Because you're a prolific creator. I mean, you create a lot.
Yeah, I get that, and it's kind of funny because it's not really a trigger, but people will ask me like, "So being an influencer," and I'm like, "No, I'm a content creator. I'm not an
Right.
influencer at all." Thing.
Yeah.
Right. I hear you.
I started out because I've been into this community, and I saw a bunch of doom and gloom, and there really wasn't enough people that was just trying to help. And I figured if I'm going to be complaining, then I need to be part of the solution. So I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and put it out there. And if I can get one person, that's great. But as far as the lives go, I started to do lives because you had so many people that was very robotic and scripted. And alive, when you go live, that separates the BS, right?
Yeah.
When somebody asks you a question, you are live, you don't have a script, and you've got to be you, and that separates people.
Yeah.
That's a good
Well,
point.
yeah, it is. I mean, so, for me, my wife and I have been prepping for a while, but, and I needed help. So I went to Google, right, to get help because the FEMA 3-day program was going to get us all killed. Okay. And, and so when I found it, y'all have heard me say this before. So I found these super preppers, right, who had a bunker and all this shit. And I had the FEMA guys give me 3 days. There's nothing in between. So we figured it out all by ourselves, mostly, and my son who has YouTube and does other things, he said, Dad, why don't you just start making videos?
Mm-hmm.
And I went, that's stupid. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. And honestly, man, there's days when I put out a video and you look at the views, nobody really wants to hear what I have to say. But then there's other videos that people are, they're 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views, So, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. But I'm also like Mad Shad. I enjoy using the creative side of my brain. Mm-hmm. It makes you a whole person. So, again, right side, left side brain, both can work on YouTube at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's kind of what got me into it. But when they already started Chuck Norris jokes. Yeah.
Well, and see, like there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they finally got off the flat Earth thing.
Well, that's fine.
For you right there of having 412 subs, you're going to have so many people be like, oh, he's just some small channel. Do you not realize that you have 412 people? That's a lot of people.
I didn't used to realize that. Okay. I didn't used to realize that. I thought but let me tell you, back in January, and we have talked intimately amongst each other about my situation back in January. And after that, it was the wonderful life experience, I call it. You don't realize how many people you touch. Mm-hmm. You really don't. And then when God takes you out of the program for a moment, and the people that you touch let you know they miss you being in their life, mm-hmm. It's heavy. And yeah, I take that 412 very seriously now. And not that I wanted to tell a lie before, but I really want to make sure I'm giving those people good information. Yep. But at the same time, I want to have some fun, and one thing I enjoy about your channel, Shad, Friday night, y'all have a whole lot of fun, and I love it. Yeah. I love it. But it's funny, y'all will be messing with each other and carrying on, and then you dive into something very deep, and and most of the guys that you talk with can pontificate. Rescue, I love to hear. Rescue's a terribly smart man, mm-hmm. dangerously smart man, and I love to hear him when y'all get into some of this stuff we're talking about. I love to hear what he has to say. But Maccabeus, what a smart old dude, man. He mm-hmm. knows what he's talking about. Yep. But I do enjoy your channel, and it is entertaining also.
Yeah, thank you, and it's just if that type of rhetoric that we engage in, thumbs down, fuck you, it's we have fun, and I just allow I don't try to moderate so much, you know what I mean? Because once again, it's I learned conflict resolution a long time ago, and so. It's good to see. I like to see how people deal with shit, like things that, and so Gnostic Nomad, please come on Lackluster Fridays. We'll talk about it, man. Absolutely. But it's kind of like that Charlie Kirk thing. It's like, hey, we can talk, and we can get these we can have a discussion, and we might even get a little heated. That's okay. That's the point too, right? A little passion, right?
Right.
Just as long as it don't get disrespectful to the point where, hey, we're going 10 paces and turning around and shooting each other,
Yeah.
or swords, which I would love. I love swords, but
Yeah, don't give Shad a sharp object or a stick.
He's got his knife hand. That's all he needs.
Yeah,
but well, I feel a little bad. I didn't mention, while we were talking about the guys you have on the show quite often. I mean, I didn't mention Wolfang. I didn't mention Ghost Lincoln. I didn't mention Dan H. I mean, you have these guys pop on your chats on Friday night who, again, y'all do a lot of BSing and carrying on. And believe me, I dig the thumbs down, finger up thing. Mm-hmm. That's kind of a universal. Anyone who served in any branch of service at some point, look, if the man comes down and says, get your M16 and get to the front, you're going to do it. But while you're sitting in the barracks drinking a cold beer, you're going, man, I hate the Marine Corps. It's just, everybody that's our God-given right to bitch. And we should.
Right.
We should. And y'all do that.
And it facilitates to that point, like Rescue said. We get a little heated, we get yelling and screaming at each other, calling each other names, and then we start laughing at each other. And that also facilitates that creative side, that passion side, and then it allows for the serious conversations to happen, right? Because now we've gotten it all out of the way. We done basically knuckled up on each other, right? Measured ourselves on the table, right? Whatever.
Yep.
And now we can get to what's the matter at hand here. Let's talk about this situation, and we can talk about it with a critical mind. Okay, we can put all that crap aside and have a critical mind, and we might even make a little jokes about it. But anyway,
right?
Why so serious, right? But I think it's very important to be able to talk to people, and to talk to each other, without throwing hands, right, or whatever. I mean, if it gets to that point, it's fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, that's why that's why I at the beginning of my channel I was like, should I show my face or not? Do I really want that heat? Yeah, I do actually. There's a part of me that's like, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm Jason Bourne too. Okay, I got some of that. All right, Nasi Nomad. Yeah, we'll have a good conversation. But Nasi Nomad, I'm just giving you an invitation to Lackluster Fridays. So just don't flash Loney on the panel, and that's all I ask.
Right. So we're getting to that. We're getting to that time, guys. So let's just work our way around.
Okay.
Ohio Valley Prepping. How about your final thoughts for the evening,
guys? Just stay focused on your prepping. I know it gets tedious at times and that, but the world's just seems like it's one chaos after another lately. And like Mad Shad said, they're trying to turn us all against us and each other, and it's working for some. So just because you don't have any enemies or whatever, don't mean somebody's not going to come knocking at your door. So just stay alert, keep prepping. Who knows what's coming next? With the possibility of wars and whatnot, and just stay focused, but also try to have a little bit of fun every now and then. Keep your mind right, because that's going to be very important in the long run. And hey, tune into Lackluster Fridays, because they're a hoot. I've missed a few. I need to get back to watching them, but I've been kind of busy lately. But yeah. So do that too.
All right, Rural, your turn, baby.
My turn. All right. Well, in the spirit of community, have you guys ever heard there is no I in team except in the a-hole? Well, here's my thing. Do not be the a-hole, because emergency preparedness is a team sport. You need to get people involved. You need to get out in your community. You need to get people on board.
Right on.
Cool.
Right on.
So I'm going to leave the final word to you, Mad Shad, but I'm going to say this, what I always say. Look, tell the ones you love that you love them. You ain't guaranteed tomorrow. You aren't guaranteed nothing but the present. So take time out of your life and hug the ones that you love. It's important. if you can't hug them, let them know somehow. But and again, don't let life squelch you. Be who you're going to be. Preach your truth. Don't back away from it. And I think we seen a man honored today who did that very thing. And I'll say this about Charlie Kirk, and I hope next Sunday we can talk about something else. But Charlie Kirk definitely portrayed honor, courage, commitment. He showed his honor, he showed his courage, and he definitely showed his commitment at a very young age. And as a Marine, I salute the man, and I appreciate what he stood for. And I'm so glad that a lot of young Americans got to see honor, courage, commitment in action. So, Shad, take it away. When you're done, we're out of here, baby.
All right. Hey, we know that things are wild, things are crazy, things are out of our control, it seems. But what is, we have to realize that we are in charge of our own destiny, So continue to train, continue to prep, because we all know it's a mad world out there. So, and help somebody out. So, knife hands.
All right, y'all. Good night. See you next Sunday.
Go.
See ya.